When Tom Cruise showed up on The View, no one expected a media firestorm. It was meant to be a promotional appearance for his upcoming film, a high-stakes action thriller that promised to be another box office hit. The audience was buzzing, the crew was hyped, and the co-hosts were prepped with light-hearted questions about stunts, training, and Cruise's infamous dedication to practical effects. Everything started smoothly. He entered with his trademark smile, the crowd erupted, and for a while it was just another polished celebrity interview. Whoopi welcomed him warmly. Sonny asked about the intensity of filming at high altitudes, and even Alyssa Farah Griffin threw in a compliment about his cinematic longevity. Then came Joy Behar, sharp, unfiltered, and never afraid to ask what others won't. The moment she leaned forward with that familiar smirk, something shifted. In the studio air, Joy began by lightly poking fun at Cruise's well-known devotion to Scientology. "Tom, you do your own stunts, fly helicopters, and run like no other man alive. Is it the religion that keeps you in such great shape, or are you just immortal?" The audience laughed, assuming it was all in fun. Tom chuckled at first, but his smile tightened. "I think discipline and hard work have more to do with it," he replied, still calm but clearly steering the conversation away from faith. Joy wasn't done. "But seriously," she continued, "do you understand why so many people see Scientology as dangerous? There are stories out there, documentaries, even survivors talking about manipulation and control. How do you square that with being this inspirational, heroic figure on screen?" The room fell silent. Tom's eyes locked onto hers. "I'm not here to discuss religion," he said slowly, especially in a space that was supposed to be about art, filmmaking. "In connection with the audience?" But Joy pressed on. "Talk about connection, Tom, but connection requires honesty. We'll look up to you, young fans especially. Don't you think avoiding the hard questions feels like hiding?" That's when Tom's tone changed. "I've never hidden," he said, his voice firmer now. "I've spoken with integrity for decades. I do what I believe in, and I respect others enough not to attack their beliefs on national television." The temperature in the room dropped. Whoopi tried to step in, suggesting they pivot to the film, but Joy wasn't done. "I'm not attacking," she replied. "I'm just asking what so many people want to know. Is the silence protection? Or is it complicity?" The tension broke through the screen. Cruise leaned forward, eyebrows raised. "You can dress it up as journalism, but let's call it what it is. You're pushing an agenda. Frankly, I don't have to sit here and take it, *. The air turned electric. Cameras panned to co-hosts, frozen in discomfort, the audience murmuring in confusion. Cruise removed his mic with slow precision. "This isn't a conversation, it's an ambush. I've faced tougher than this. But I didn't come here to be disrespected under the guise of daytime TV banter." Joy leaned back, not apologetic, but visibly surprised. "I'm just doing my job, Tom," she said. Cruise stood up, looked directly at the camera, and said, "Then do it with integrity." And then, with a nod to Whoopi and Sonny, he walked off stage. The crowd didn't know whether to clap or sit in stunned silence. Whoopi quickly cut to commercial, muttering, "We'll be right back," as the control room scrambled. In the 26 seasons of The View, plenty of guests had clashed, debated, and even stormed off, but never had a Hollywood A-lister exited with such silent fury. Within minutes. The walk-off was everywhere. Twitter exploded with clips, opinions, and memes. Hashtags like #CruiseWalksOut, #JoyVS Tom, and #ViewExplosion were trending by noon. Pundits weighed in, some praising Joy for asking what others wouldn't dare. Others defending Cruise's right to avoid religious scrutiny during a movie promo. Videos circulated of similar past clashes on The View, but nothing quite matched the fire and fallout of this one. Op-eds were written before sunset. Entertainment journalists called it the moment Cruise shed his PR perfect armor. Others saw it as proof that even celebrities known for control could still be shaken by one. Sharp question. Meanwhile, fans of both sides argued across digital platforms, dissecting every word, every glance, and every second leading up to that dramatic exit. The next morning. Joy Behar addressed the incident with a mix of defiance and reflection. "Look, I've been doing this a long time," she said. "Sometimes the truth makes people uncomfortable. That doesn't mean you avoid it. We'll be more measured, added. We all want our guests to feel respected, but we also ask the questions that matter to our viewers. That's what this table is about. BC released a brief statement. The View continues to provide a platform for authentic, unfiltered dialogue. We thank Mr. Cruz for his time and wish him success with his film. Cruz, true to form, said nothing. His rep issued a single-sentence response. Tom remains focused on his mission as an actor and a storyteller. But the silence spoke volumes. He made no further appearances that week, canceled 2 upcoming interviews, and returned quietly to Los Angeles. Asterisk behind the scenes, insiders say the fallout shook both camps. The View's producers reevaluated their interview strategy, especially around celebrity guests. We've had political battles, one senior producer reportedly said, but this hit different. It was personal. It was deep. For Cruz's team, the moment was seen as a breach of trust. He agreed to The View expecting a conversation. About cinema, not a trial by fire, said one source close to the actor. Yet, despite the discomfort, the incident ignited conversations far beyond the show itself. Debates about celebrity transparency, media responsibility, and the limits of daytime TV dominated airwaves for a week. Cruz, unintentionally or not, had become a symbol not just of movie star charisma, but of the complicated tension between privacy and public scrutiny in the 21st century. Asterisk a week later. Cruz finally addressed the walk-off briefly during an appearance on a late-night show. I believe in showing up, he said. But I also believe in knowing when to walk away. The audience applauded. It wasn't an apology, nor a rebuke, just a line delivered with perfect calm. But it was enough to close the loop for many. For others, it only deepened the intrigue. Was this the real Tom Cruise, reactive, ready to protect his boundaries? Or was it a calculated pivot in the never-ending dance of celebrity image control? Whatever the answer, the moment had already taken root in pop culture. It would be replayed, quoted, and referenced for years. Asterisk, and maybe that's why it struck such a nerve because, for once, in a world of scripted sound bites and polished press tours, 2 people said exactly what they felt. No filters. Just a live-wire moment of truth between a host who wouldn't back down and a guest who chose dignity over discomfort. And in a media landscape built on pretend, maybe that rare flash of something real is why no one could look away. In the end, Tom Cruise didn't storm off. He didn't yell or curse. He simply got up, walked out, and reminded everyone watching that silence, when chosen intentionally, can be louder than any argument. And The View, for all its years of noise, had never felt quieter than in the wake of his absence.